Childhood is a carefree period of life. A period of life when we don't know what is responsibility. A period of life when we are free, like the free bird. A period of life this childhood is when we have ample number of toys. And when we cling on to those toys and we love those toys to the infinite moment. We love those things, children, because it is such a wonderful age, that's childhood, where we are not bothered about earnings, about getting the things. We automatically get everything. But how does this love of childhood change? It changes when we enter adulthood. Adulthood. When we understand responsibilities. When we understand what is good and bad, and that is the harsh period of life. When we understand how do relations break up, why do we have so much attachment to the things in the materialistic world, why do we love each other, and when that person leaves from our life, goes away leaving this life, how much pain it gives us. So we're talking about this pain, this sense of lack of sense of responsibility today, children. Hello everyone, God bless you all, and I'm Manju Ali today again with class 10th English, a poem today, the Ball Poem. It is written by John Berryman. About the poet, he was an American poet. He's written beautiful masterpieces of poetry and literature, and he has got n number of awards for his pieces of writing, and his dream song is well known to everybody. The title of the poem is The Ball Poem. B-A-L-L, children, ball, a toy. But what does it signify? Why has he written this poem? This ball poem signifies the grief of a child on losing his beautiful toy, his ball. And this is for the first time this child understands the sense of responsibility. He understands the sense of detachment in life to things which you love. He understands that money cannot buy back those moments of life which are gone. So this losing of the ball by this child also tells us that lovely memories of childhood. That was the backdrop of the poem, children. I'm going to the stanzas now. Alright? The first stanza. What's the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over there into the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. In the opening stanza, the poet is talking about this young boy who loses his ball while he was playing. He is in loud possession of this ball, and the poet is also standing there watching this child. He is saying that the ball is merrily bouncing, going away and dropping into the water. Merrily bouncing. The ball is not happy, but he symbolizes the ball, and he says, ball is a symbol of sweet memories of this child. And he thinks now, what is this child going to do now when he loses this ball? And we can't tell him, oh, there is another ball, we'll buy you another ball. Because this child, for the first time, he is losing the attachment with a thing which he considered very close to his heart. That's where the poet is underlining that he is saying that it is a symbol of sweet memories of childhood. The second stanza, children. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. Fixes the boy. He's terribly shaken, children. And he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. Another ball is worthless. The poet is saying in this stanza that this losing of the ball This moving of the ball into the water shakes this boy. It sends a shiver down his spine, children, because he's losing the attachment, the possession of this beautiful toy. That's the ball which he holds to his life. The poet says that I could intrude, I could interfere and tell him, I'll give you more money and you buy the ball. But no, he did not want to do that. He said, I did not want to interfere, I did not want to intrude into his feelings, because he was so much moved by that losing of the ball. He was so much absorbed in his childhood memories of that ball that it was painful for me to tell him, you'll buy another ball. Secondly, the poet says that if I would tell him, he would not understand the responsibilities of life. Also, he would not understand that everything in this materialistic world is transitory. You love somebody and suddenly that person leaves your life. You're shaken. But you get that strength from Almighty to fight that crude, harsh reality of life. So he says, I did not want to interfere. I did not want to shake him more. I did not want to break his thoughts of his beautiful childhood. The third stanza, children. Now, he senses first responsibility in the world of possession. People will take. Balls will be lost always. Little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. The poet standing there visualizes the feelings of this boy. He says this detachment of the ball with the child makes him realize his first responsibility. That is, everything which you love in this materialistic world is not going to cling on to you forever. You have to lose it one day. One day it will go from your life. That's why he says, balls will be lost always. I mean, you will keep on losing this thing. Somebody will snatch your ball, or you will lose your ball, like this boy lost the ball which fell into the water. So he says, this feeling you have to accept. This reality of life you have to accept. This reality, not having attachment with the things, is the reality of life. The fourth and the last stanza, children. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know and must know many days, how to stand up. The poet is saying that now he is sensing, he is learning the thought behind losing this ball. His eyes are very desperate. You can imagine when once you were a child, you lost your toy, how painful it was for you to get that toy. If you had another toy, also the same one, but you would not find those feelings, those attachments with that beautiful toy, because you own that. You consider that toy, that ball, your own life. And once you lose it, then it becomes difficult. He says the epistemology of loss. Epistemology means the nature of loss. How much loss do you have in life? How much do you feel this loss is? For example, we correlate it with the relationships of human beings. If you break up your relationship, you keep on having the grief in your heart, the pain in your heart, the ache in your heart of losing that, breaking up that relationship. If you lose somebody, children, that person is not in life anymore. He's not with you in this world. And when you think of that, that pains you, that shakes you. He says, this is the reality of life. The reality of life is not to cling on to something which you love forever, because these things are not going to last. He makes the child understand through this poem. He makes the readers understand that despite of the fact that you own something, you love something, and you lose it suddenly, somebody dies, you have the courage, you have to muster the courage again to stand up strong to move on into the world. That is the main theme of this story, children, which he wants to tell us through this poem. That's the ball poem. That whatever you have in life, that's not going to last, children, forever. Because if you have that maya with you, if you have that attachment with you, that when once you lose something you have the pain, then you will not be able to stand up to that harsh reality. So he makes the reader strong. He's trying to make the boy strong. Otherwise he could give the money to the boy to buy a new ball. But then that thought comes in his mind between him and the boy, children, and he says that if I give him the money, he will not understand his responsibility of sense of belongingness and sense of detachment, because both things are important. You own something, but you have to give up that something which you keep closer to your heart. That was the poem, children. I hope you have liked it. Some of the poetic devices used in this is, first is the alliteration. I've explained it many times. It's what. He's created a beautiful imagery in the poem by using merrily bouncing ball. Ball, he has introduced happy going ball, happy for the child. Otherwise the ball has no expressions. It's merely a piece of toy. So he has introduced merrily bouncing ball, like the ball is dancing and moving up on the street and then finally dropping into the water. And that's a beautiful imagery he has created. He's used the anaphoria, children, repetition of the same word, what, ball, in the poem. And the poem has no rhyming scheme. But what is the takeaway of the poem? The takeaway of the poem is, I repeat, don't cling on to the things you love the most. Because when you lose them, it hurts you the most. Thank you very much. I hope my video was simple enough for you to understand. I wish you all the best. Good luck until we meet in the next video. Thank you.